There is one fundamental principle that ultimately will end this religious debate on who goes to hell, who goes to heaven, who's saved, who's not, what the true faith is, and who's going to end up as a sausage patty in the eternal barbecue pit. That one principle is the principle of honesty, the virtue of honesty. Because if you live as an honest individual and you seek truth and you identify as all things positive, which any honest person has to do. Nobody wants to suffer. Nobody wants pain inflicted on them. No one wants disorder. Everyone wants these positive things. Everyone wants love and connection. So for those of us that are honest, we naturally come to this conclusion that that is what we want for ourselves. And the honest person recognizes that we should treat others how we would want to be treated for an optimal world to be lived in for our children and our grandchildren. And so, as it relates to theology, if I have a different theological perspective than you, then I should not be in fear. I should not feel like I'm lacking. I should not feel like you're better off than me or I'm better off than you simply because of our difference in theology. And the idea that God would have any issue with your theological conclusion if you reach those conclusions through intellectual honesty and you do your due diligence, whatever conclusion you come to, all God can have is mercy. All he can have for you when you get to the other side, all he can say is, well, you dang it, you gave it your best. I can see you did your best through your actions. You did your due diligence, but you came to the wrong conclusion about the true faith. What happened down there, Da Vinci? He can't be mad at you because your cognitive faculties led you to a conclusion through your honest intellectual endeavor to believe whatever it was that you believed. And religions will agree across the board that for people that just didn't understand it, but they did their best and they lived a good life, those people deserve salvation. And they'll say, will most likely attain salvation when they cross over. And obviously they should. Now, years ago, religions may not have agreed on that. And so they would burn people at the stake and all sorts of stuff. But in today's world, humanity has grown enough to recognize that, that doesn't make any sense for an honest, good-willing human being to be abandoned by the Creator and cast into this eternal hell. And so when you have these discussions with these different religious people, they're all in agreement. Well, yeah, if you're honest and you do your best, then you can go to heaven too. So that ultimately breaks this entire endless religious debate. Because whatever conclusion I come to, as long as I am honest, then I should have nothing to fear. So the idea that I have come to the conclusion that I think humanity needs to put aside their theological differences and recognize that how we treat other people is a reflection of our relationship with God and the kingdom within. And that is ultimately the barometer for a healthy society. If we can all focus on that, which oddly enough is Christ's teaching, I think that we can actually unite spiritually, and we can remove the fear and the separation and the judgment and the condemnation that we have for each other based on our theological worldview. And I think a united humanity can rise while a divided humanity will fall. It's the simple axiom: united we rise, divided we fall. And I think at this point in time, we are called to unite spiritually and And I do think that as we approach the end of this age, it's going to become more and more evident that that's the only thing that's going to prevent us from all collectively falling victim to the narratives of our governments and the rulers of this realm that would have us believe that we should be going to war with each other to stop other nations from taking over the world or what have you. And so I think it's important spiritually, first and foremost, to recognize that whatever conclusion that we come to, as long as we come to it through an intellectually honest endeavor, then you should not be afraid. You should not be in fear. You should not be condemned by other people. You should not be told that you're not going to be saved, and you shouldn't. All of that division associated with that endless religious debate can just go away, and we can start operating we can start operating instead of from covenants and commandments. We can operate from principles and awareness, and we can develop a teleological understanding of how it is we're going to coexist, and we can focus on our value hierarchy and how our everything flows downstream from that, and our spiritual understanding of our nature and the nature of reality, and we can unite, and our voice united, we will find, has far more power than we ever thought it did. And in today's day and age, what I believe to be us approaching the end of this age, I think it's going to be more and more valuable for us to collectively speak out about what we want for the future of humanity. And if we don't, I think we're going to find out the hard way that the governments of this world and the military-industrial complex, the rulers of this realm, actually want perpetual war, and that's what we're headed for if we don't come together spiritually. And I think honesty is the principle that, as long as we all accept, is the one thing that removes any sense of fear of judgment when we pass over, then I think that's the first step to us breaking free from the religious division and coming together and uniting in spirit. And many other principles like love, freedom, and the list goes on. So anyway, that's a message for today. I'm Da Vinci the Truth. This is the Raise Our Awareness Revolution. Look forward to working with all of y'all. God bless. Love.